A little too close. Okay, so I heard from your comments from my Yonex Ezone 98 2022 video. I will leave a link to that video review in this corner if you guys haven't checked it out already. That you guys want me to compare the three most recent releases of the Yonex Ezone 98, the 2018, the 2020, and the 2022. Also, if you guys have the Yonex Ezone 98 DR version, please send them to me, or send me a Gmail, or join my Discord and send me a direct message. I heard it's one of the greatest rackets ever made, and I want to get my hands on one. But keep in mind, for this comparison, I played with the 2018 and the 2020 versions extensively over the past 2 to 3 years. But also keep in mind that there's no actual thing as objective truth to any type of equipment reviews. Although I am unbiased, meaning I'm not sponsored by any major tennis company. This review, along with any of my reviews, are my opinion and my opinion only, along with my experiences. So if you agree or disagree with any of these points, leave a comment down in the section below. I do want to hear your thoughts and your opinions and your experiences. This video is my first comparison video of versions of tennis rackets, so it will be laid out a little bit differently. I'm going to break down this video into chapters, so if you want to skip to a specific part or chapter, check out the sections on the timeline that you want to jump to. Also, I will refer to the Yonex Ezone 98 2018 version as the 2018 for simplicity's sake, and the same for the other two as well. The 2018 was somewhat underpowered from the baseline, especially if you hit towards the tip of the hoop. The 2020 version was a lot more beefed up than the 2018 in more ways than one, but more on that later. 2020 gave a lot more plow through than the 2018 without too much loss of control. However, the 22 was also a very chonky boy. It gave significantly more pop and penetration from the baseline than the previous two versions. I will admit the 2022 was powerful, but not overpowering from the baseline or serves, but it did have almost a little bit too much power at the volleys. Along with the extra power, the 2022 also had a slightly higher launch angle than the previous versions as well. Overall, I did enjoy the power of the 2022 in all parts of the court compared to the 2018 and 2020. Oh yeah, let's also add to the fact that, in my opinion, the 2022 version also had significantly more spin potential than the two previous versions of the racket in all parts of the tennis court. You know what also has potential? Hitting that like and subscribe button. It helps tennis original content like this become more visible to viewers like you. Also, hit that notification bell because I like bells, you like bells, screw it, we all like bells. Just like power, the 2018 did lose quite a bit of stability towards the hoop. The latter versions did resolve this issue. When hitting any type of shot, whether it's a flat serve or any type of ground stroke, the 2020 and 2022 did not lose any type of stability. And also, the power drop-off was very minimal for the latter two versions of this racket. Also, when hitting against big aggressive baseliners or returning against bigger servers, the 2018 did have some torsional stability issues, even when hitting clean, whereas the 2020 and 2022 versions did not. I will give the edge in the stability department to the latter versions of this racket equally. A wise Uncle Ben, who also played tennis, just trust me on this one, don't look it up, once said, with great power comes great effort in maneuverability. And the Yonex Ezone 98 lines are no exception to this rule either. The 2018 was extremely quick through the air, probably one of the top 5 quickest player frames I've ever played with. But obviously, the 2020 and 2022 were not so quick to command. 2020 was slightly more cumbersome throughout the air when hitting ground strokes, and after about 45 minutes of hitting with the 2020, you will actually have adjusted to the previous rendition of this racket. However, the 2022 is a completely different story. Even after 7 hours of playtesting, I still found myself hitting extremely late shots, specifically the one-handed backhand down the line. It was very, very late almost all the time. Approach shots and mid-court balls weren't bad at all, but the maneuverability was absolutely atrocious from the baseline from, again, my experience. If you strongly disagree, please roast me in the comment section below. This is extremely odd because the weight and balance for all three versions are the same. Yes, they were all quick through the air for serves and volleys, but I will say the maneuverability of the latest version was a massive disappointment from the baseline. Now, let's talk about the most controversial of the talking points. The comfort. I've had absolutely no discomfort with the 2018 version at all, even with the Solinco Hyper G strung at the higher end of the recommended string range. I think it was like 55 pounds I was initially playing with. I also had no arm problems for the 12 months I was using this racket. The 2020 version did give me really bad forearm, wrist, and hand issues after about 2 months of hitting with them. It got so bad, in fact, that I had to switch rackets because of this single issue I had with this rendition of the Ezone 98. And the latest version is by far the worst racket I've ever played with in terms of wrist and hand pain. Luckily, I had no forearm pain with the latest version, but it's probably because all of the pain receptors were firing off in my hand and wrist, so I didn't notice any of my forearm pain at all. Other than the need to find an orthopedic surgeon for playing with the latter two versions of this racket, all these rackets were actually pretty comfortable. Now, I want to hear what you guys think. Do you guys strongly disagree or disagree with me? It's perfectly fine in any of these three rackets that I compared. Leave a comment down in the section below. I would really like to hear your thoughts, and I'm sure others like you are wanting your opinion as well, not just mine. And if there's a comment or if there's something you want to address that I won't be able to get to in the comment section as quickly as you'd like me to, do me a favor, join my Discord where almost 1,000 people are regularly coming into contact with this community for tennis retailer discounts, tennis memes, tennis culture, and pro tennis events that are always happening nationwide. And as always, guys, happy hitting.